You know, in any big organization, there's always one simple but incredibly tough question. When something happens, who is really responsible? I don't mean which department or what team, but which specific person. For over 30 years, Embo Systems has been obsessed with solving that exact problem. And they do it by designing a full-blown architecture for accountability. Okay, let's just dive right into this because this is the question that keeps managers and CEOs up at night. When the pressure is on and you need an answer like right now, can you actually follow that thread all the way to a single named person? Or does it just kind of vanish into a maze of shared inboxes and vague job titles? So this is what Embo Systems calls the accountability blind spot. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's that murky gray area where responsibility gets fuzzy, where tasks are assumed instead of assigned, and where critical information just falls right through the cracks. Now, when things are going smoothly, this is just inefficient. But in a crisis, it's a catastrophic risk. On one hand, you've got total chaos. You hear things like, oh, the team handled it, or it's in the group email. But on the other side, you have what we can call engineered clarity, a system built on direct, personal links where every single critical point has a human owner. There's no more guesswork, there's only a name. And believe me, that changes everything. Now, this kind of approach, it doesn't just pop up overnight. It's actually the result of a 30-year journey by founder Dalway Mustard, who's dedicated his entire career to solving these exact issues for some of the biggest names in industry. So let's actually trace that journey for a second. It all started way back in 1989 when he developed one of South Africa's very first health and safety software applications. By 1998, his intellectual property was so valuable it was acquired by AngloGold. And for the last couple of decades, he's been the go-to consultant and developer for industry giants. We're talking Anglo American and Glencore, constantly refining this vision. I mean, that's over 30 years on the front lines engineering solutions to real-world problems. This isn't some startup guessing what an industry might need. This is a system that has been forged from decades of direct, hands-on experience. And that brings us to the core solution. Look, this isn't just another piece of software. It's a fundamentally different way of thinking about how your organization works. It's what's called the architecture of accountability, and it's built around one profoundly simple yet really powerful idea. So here's the absolute core of it all. Instead of building a system around processes, the entire Embo Integrated Management System, or EIMS for short, is built with people as the fundamental building blocks. Every single action, every piece of data is permanently and unbreakably linked to a specific person. And this, well, this is the blueprint for that architecture. I know, at first glance it looks complex, but what you're really seeing is a web of relationships where every single function, from governance all the way to operations, is anchored by a specific, accountable person. Let me show you a couple of quick examples. Think about how this works for safety, where accountability is just non-negotiable. The system doesn't just log an incident, it assigns it to a specific incident investigator by name. A high-potential risk case isn't just filed away somewhere. It requires a specific mine manager to personally sign off on it. The chain of command is literally hardwired right into the system. And it's the exact same principle for health. Every single medical visit gets tied to a specific medical officer. The system even knows the exact person carrying the device for things like dust monitoring. What this does is create an unbreakable chain of evidence for duty of care, making individual responsibility totally granular and absolute. Okay, so that's the philosophy, right? But how does that actually translate into a complete solution? Well, this core idea of personal linkage is the foundation for a really comprehensive, fully integrated platform. The EMS is built as 19 fully integrated modules, all working together as one cohesive system to manage pretty much every facet of the organization. And here they all are. But look, this is not just a random list of features. This is a truly holistic system, structured to cover everything. You've got governance and risk, with modules like incident and audit management. Then there's operations and technical, which covers assets and production, all the way to people and HR, managing training, health, and so much more. It becomes the single source of truth for the entire business. And, you know, this whole thing isn't just powerful on the front end. It's built on a really modern, future-proof tech stack. It's all developed using .NET, it's completely cloud-ready with Microsoft Azure, and it has advanced data mining capabilities with MS SQL analysis services, all supported by some seriously robust data warehousing processes. So, okay, when you put all of that together, the 30 years of experience, this architecture of personal links, and this massive comprehensive system, what do you actually get out of it? Well, it all boils down to one thing: engineered certainty. First up, clarity. Simple as that. Ambiguity is just eliminated. There is zero confusion about who owns what from the mind phase right up to the boardroom. Second, you get real control. Management gets a complete, real-time view into who is responsible for every single critical action and asset across the entire operation. And third, and this is a big one, you get compliance. The system automatically creates a perfect, defensible audit trail for everything that happens, which helps build a culture of true ownership from the ground up. Which really just leaves one final crucial question that you have to ask about your own organization. Is your system of accountability built on the solid rock of direct personal links, or is it built on the shifting sands of shared responsibility and vague ownership? Because honestly, the integrity of your entire structure depends on that answer.